We're going to switch things up a little bit. With me this morning is Sarah Stevens, occupational therapist and also co-director of Therapy Works, and it's time for Therapy Works on now. Now, this morning we're going to speak about some games that we did in preschool, and Sarah, I would like you to share what we're going to speak about this morning.
Sure. So, OT, one of our areas that we work in is the area for kids is play. That's their occupation. So we use a lot of games, and preschool games are a great way to help our kids develop some of the skills they're struggling with.
Which preschool games do you use in particular?
Well, I use a lot of them, but we're going to talk today about Duck, Duck, Goose, Simon Says, and Red Light, Green Light.
Red Light, Green Light,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, and then
Yeah.
that used to be
I was
so
going to
much
make
fun.
the two of you do it, but I'm not going to make you do it. Yeah, not today.
I've done that.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Well, and I just want to go, it's so important for our kids to learn preschool games. And right now the numbers for autism is 1 in 59 kids has autism, 1 in 37, I think, boys. And so you can just imagine that these disabilities, as well as other hidden disabilities, are pretty prevalent in society these days. And because the school systems in Trinidad and Tobago really lack a lot of support for kids with special needs, teachers end up with kids with special needs in their classroom and in their preschool. And so this is just some strategies that those teachers can use to help their kids develop these play skills.
Wow, well, I hope some teachers are watching this
Yeah,
morning,
I hope
and
so.
This would be able to benefit them.
Yeah, so if we go from play, there's lots of different levels of play skills, but we talk about, you probably heard of parallel play. That's when you're doing something like a child will be building blocks over here and a child will be building blocks over here. So now playing together, but they're doing similar play. And then it moves on to associative play, where we're starting to kind of come together and eventually get to cooperative play. So a game like Duck, Duck, Goose is we do it in the clinic a lot. We'll get the kids to come, all the different therapists will bring their kids in together, because it's a simple game that has a lot of repetition. So Duck, Duck, Goose, you sit the kids in a circle, and one by one they go around duck, 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 goose, and they run and chase each other.
Right.
And so it's got enough repetition that our kiddos who are learning, who are still at that parallel play or the associative play, they can see their peers do it, and they can pick up on it. And I've seen some of our kids who are quite involved and maybe don't interact with kids too much in other ways, like they understand the basics of this game.
Right.
So Duck, Duck, Goose works on the motor planning of having to walk and tap on the head, make a sound with the when they're tapping on the head. And Robin will be next week to talk about how these games can help elicit language.
Right, it ties in with speech as
yes,
well.
because it goes. That's why we'll bring the OTs and the speech in the same room to work on our goals together.
Makes sense.
Simon Says is a great one, because if you can think of for motor planning particularly, I like it. You can just do Simon Says, clap your hands.
Sorry, what's that?
Simon Says, clap your hands,
Oh.
Carrie. There you go. Simon Says, touch your head. Good job. He's good, isn't he? But what you can do with that then, as the kids get better at that, then you can change it into Simon Says, touch your nose and stand on one foot. So they have to start to do two things at once.
At once, right.
Yeah, or Simon Says, first pull your ear, then clap your hands. So they're having to do one step after the other step.
Right.
And again, it works if you have more than one child. They can model it after each other. One of the tips I like to use for teachers is you could put spaces like mats on the ground so the kids know where to stand, because that's as much as you think the tricky part is following the directions, it's also where to keep your body in the group.
I see.
Because they might be bumping each other, they might be wandering away. But if you put a little mat on the floor and you say that's your spot to stand on, it helps them with the motor planning of that.
Okay, that's excellent. And then the other one was Red Light, Green Light. I'm very interested to know about this one. I admit something right now.
Yeah.
I even played that in primary school, so it went beyond preschool.
Yes, that's a good one for the playground, because it can get the kids kind of rowdy and fun on the playground.
Yeah.
But Red Light, Green Light is great because you have to work out. Like one of the test skills that I do for one of my assessment tools is when I have the kids run and then I say stop, and I have to see can they stop within 3 steps of me saying stop. It's just one of the things on a standardized assessment to see can they motor plan that, can they pause their motor skills. So Red Light, Green Light is great for that, because as you have kids on one end of the playground or the yard and they have to, you red light or green light. We play a little different in the US. We don't turn around like you guys do in Trinidad. I've learned how to play the Trini version. But they have to listen for the commands and then stop their bodies. And I found another good way to adapt this for kids with special needs is I'll make 2 signs on popsicle sticks. So it'll have like a red light stop sign or a green light circle. And maybe we don't do the turning around how the kids do here. We just have red light, we just do green light, and then we put the red light up so they stop.
Right.
So working on following that simple commands. And it's a great way that, like we talk about inclusion so much, it's a great way that all kids can come together and play these games.
Yeah, I was wondering, whether this, like, kids with special needs would be limited in regards to playing these games?
Well, and these are the kind of games where it's, like I said, the associative play. This is the first way to kind of get them into those play skills. Like we're not going to sit down and have them play Monopoly. There's a lot of different rules and a lot of hidden rules that go on with Monopoly and games that have more rules to them. But these kind of games, these three in particular, have pretty straightforward basic rules, and most kids can pick up on them. So they're nice activities for kids with special needs and for any kind of kids.
You know, and especially getting everybody to play together.
Yes, yeah.
So
and that's
everybody
key.
feels as part of one community.
Yep,
rather
exactly.
than, you know, some feel different and such. You know, I want to thank you so much, Sarah.
Thanks.
For joining us this morning and sharing on this again. And we look forward to chatting with Robin next week, because speaking about these play games again, but from a speech language
Yes.
pathology purview.
Exactly.
So definitely, and thanks again for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. We now go across to Rishi, who is